Oh, it's time to get into this game. We're not going to waste any time kicking this one off. And as you can see, map already loaded. The teams on the server and Fracture's about to be played out in front of your very eyes. BBL's attack side put to the test. And Tom, you know, BBL's opening here was a little bit shaky. We got to be honest about that. You know, sure, they end up taking the series, but it went the distance with map 2 needing what, 18 to 16 and OT to pull them back into it. They recovered as well. Remember, it was 6 straight rounds. They haven't really been able to get off to that solid start in their first series, but now they're coming in warmed up. I'm expecting to see something a little bit different, but that said, this is a very big opponent to take on.
Yeah, it's also a composition that looks like it will have an awful lot of setups for Liquid, like trap plays that we see with Astra combinations of Breach and Raze. However, this is the same sort of style we expect to see from BBL. These aggressive attempts, these opening pushes, Kushner leading the way, and well, I remember he succeeded quite well last time. He's already dead.
Yeah, he was fantastic at opening up that space, but they're running into Scream, and he's taking 4 heads before this round is done. An absolutely fantastic start for Team Liquid. The pistol round now under their belt, and well, it wasn't really anything too deep on that one, Tom. That I think, Scream with 4 kills in a couple seconds will win you most rounds.
This is something I wanted to touch on because Scream versus Turkish teams is an absolute monster. I'm just going to read you off his KD of pretty much every game that they've played against Turkish teams. He was 20-8, 39-18, 34-12, 59-46, and 41-24. He's never even had a game that's close to being negative when facing off against Turkish opposition. This man, for some reason, just seems to play his best games versus teams like BBL. So it's not going to be an easy one for them. And, well, he's already off to a 4K start.
Yeah, we could have asked coming into today, right? Is it going to be different? Can this finally be when Turkey deals with Scream? And, well, if that pistol round's anything to go by, certainly not. We'll see, though. This is an eco, of course, so we're not expecting BBL to really make any dent in Team Liquid. You look at the comp that they're running, the Headhunter's pretty much the only thing that's going to give them some hope of at least picking off 1 or 2. If they can do that and just make it somewhat costly for Team Liquid, force some reinvestment. Matter of fact, look, everybody on Liquid, has got a Spectre to work with, right? So 1 kill is actually kind of valuable for BBL, meaning that, you know, they'll have to reinvest. That said, they haven't found one.
Well, if the first 2 rounds you got Scream and Yumpy both getting 4Ks, I am a little bit worried, especially because it leads them closer to some of those fairly impactful ults. I also just worry in general with someone like Yumpy playing an agent like this because it's very freeing. Like, we've seen this before with the likes of Soulcast being able to be aggressive on an agent like Skye. Well, Soulcast isn't the most aggressive player in the world. Like, if anything, I feel at times he's the calm within this storm. So the fact that it's going to be Yumpy, well, if you remember the beginning of the game, he used to just run at people with a shotgun. So you could see already he's getting a lot of very deep information around the map just using the guiding lights. So this is starting to get a bit worrying straight off the bat.
I like that little bit of utility put down, the Gravwell in particular, but as soon as the star was in play, those players were running back. BBL knew what they were about to run into. They'll avoid getting ruined by a nade. These weapons moving forward into A main still a little bit delayed, and there's 3 players from Team Liquid here. Got the stack up on the right side, but they'll still have a tough time in these fights with Spectres. And you can see Pora considering the flash out. They'll blitz, and that's perfect. Fully blinded. Link couldn't do a thing.
Yeah, either you're blind or you're attempting to dodge it. Either way, you're not in a good spot there, and they're starting to pincer in onto the side. The rotation has come through fairly quick, and Scream's done a good job from the top of the site. Yumpy's there again. This deadly duo is just slamming BBL into the ground, and more. I said Scream doesn't go negative versus Turkish sides. He's already got 7 kills.
I think he has shot him with the nade. That's something else. He's got a showstopper online for round 3, but it's not that. It's the fact that BBL moved to the A site. They cut off one of the players as well. Link, he hadn't got a shot on short. And with that control up against Spectres, smokes down, utility in play, everything going the way they wanted in the early round. I almost can't tell you what happened with Scream on top. I saw Yumpy getting 2 kills. I think that could have been through the smoke. It's just ridiculous either way. BBL got to be feeling deflated to kick this one off. Back on pistols again. So we're looking at a likely fourth for Team Liquid. Still, though, there's a lot of threats that BBL bring to the table in a round like this.
Yeah. It's also worth mentioning that when they played this map versus Na'Vi, it was a very, very dominant attacking side out from them. So they already can't get as many rounds, which is somewhat ridiculous. They managed 10 on that attacking half. And it's not to say that the defense is weak. We just really didn't see much of it when it came to the second half of that matchup. It was over before it really began. But it's very good for Liquid to get off to such a strong start. And, well, trades at least going to go in. But this is what I mean. Just so many opportunities for Yumpy to now be that little bit more aggressive off the back of his own utility. It's still going well, though, for BBL. These trades out are absolutely fine because that's weapons to be had.
Oh, yeah. A trade in a round like this is fantastic. They've even got a sight, got a plant. Showstopper coming through. Sadly, going to ruin AIM-DLL's chances. And Aslan goes down. That's a good recovery by Team Liquid. Still Turco left to deal with, but he's the player with a sheriff in hand. That vandal on sight, he desperately wants it, but he's going to have to make do with this pistol. 3 players coming his way. They're all full HP. They've got shields. They've got utility. Actually, now they haven't got any to work with, but rifles will do the job nicely. Defused for Team Liquid. Not as clean as they would have liked. Good trades by BBL, but it does very little for the attackers, realistically getting 2 kills with the amount of steam behind the Team Liquid engine right now. I mean, just look at those credits. He got Scream 7.9k, and he's 8-0.
Okay, so we're continuing the trend of Yumpy using an operator on any agent whatsoever. We've seen it Omen, Breach. I'm pretty sure he's done it on a Brim at some point. And now we're getting it on Skye. I'm not going to sit here and say that there's a hell of a lot of utility that I feel like is going to back him up with an operator. But it's Yumpy, and at this point, there's nothing I can say that will ever make anyone doubt him.
Oh, great stun. Cutie, though, not able to follow up with the kill. Solkis left on 7 HP. Scream. Aggressive nade going through. Aslan's got to move, and he can't TP. He's taken down, and so is Flora. Oh, this is flawless from Scream. Another 2 headshots added to it, right? I don't think this guy's hit anything but heads, bar the showstopper. This is just absolutely insane.
Using so much utility in this round, and they're getting absolutely nothing for it. Finally, Yumpy will fall, and the space of the site will go into their favor, but they haven't cleared out Soulcast. Even the spike being dropped causes another problem, because now all they have to do is hold the cross back, and sure, Kushner has a little bit of extra time, but they're just waiting. You can see the patience of Liquid.
Such fantastic stuns early and great utility usage by BBL, but Cutie not getting that kill, leaving Solkis on 7. It's made this round so much harder, and look how many players he's up against. 42 HP. He's being revealed the whole time, so nobody oversteps. They know the defuse isn't coming through. Nade pressures him a little bit. He's going to try to swing on Scream. A nice attempt, but no result to be found from it this time. 5-0 we go. Team Liquid clocking up round after round.
He's 11-0.
BBL have got to be sweating at this point, man. It's not even about getting a round on the board. They can't kill this guy. He's just ruining them.
Yeah, when he's pushing the north side of the map and you have 2 players waiting and he kills both, you got problems. And I'm not surprised that BBL... I feel like, obviously it's a very different team to the teams that he's battered in the past. But I wonder if there's still just something for this organization that just sees Scream on the other side and just goes, please, please. There was genuinely a game where I think it was Russ. This was a while ago, dropped 81 kills and they still didn't win. Like that's how ridiculous it is for Turkish teams to try and beat Team Liquid. It just doesn't happen for some reason. And well, 5-0 up. It's their map choice. The most they can now get on this attack is 7. And I'll be honest, Mitch, I think the closest round is the one that we just saw. And most of that was just Cutie trying to get some kills at the end of the round. Like, most of it was already done.
The one difference here, though, you know, they're in a really weird spot for BBL. Just look at their credits real quick before they've invested. And, like, some players can buy, some can't. Then you look at their ultimate economy, and I think that's the key thing. You have a Rolling Thunder. Cutie's got his ult to play with as well. But most importantly, Aslan might be able to grab a kill or an orb to pull out that tour de force, and then the rifles drop to someone else, and all of a sudden this is a doable round.
And if he dies, he has it for the next round, so it doesn't.
Exactly.
It's not a risk him buying this rifle. Like, it might look like a peculiar purchase of him having a gun and nobody else, but there really isn't that much risk behind this play whatsoever.
Yeah.
Again, we're going to see a switch up in setup. Scream just seems to be almost playing the rotational star at this stage, taking space elsewhere. They've had so many deep guiding lights going through just to get them that early information, but they're also using the cams, which is something that just works wonderfully for them. They also have the trips, so they can't really give anything up at the moment. And it feels like they're just using all of that utility so early on to gain them space that realistically, there's not a spot that currently BBL can go without them knowing.
I like this. We're starting to see BBL move towards Dish. This is going to give them a lot of opportunities with weaker weapons falling out of Evan, but most importantly, if they decide, and they've seen the trap wire nest, so you're going to have to give the info away. You could see a world where Aslan decides to take that ult, but they're going to try to entry into site first, maybe go off the plant. Good kill by Cutie. Great space taking. They've got sight. Plant's coming in, but it's Turco going for it, getting that res online.
He died.
Another kill for Cutie. That might be the most impact we've seen out of a Neon ult to date. And it's not finished yet with Team Liquid still 3 players strong, trying to fight back into the site, and they'll at least take aim down.
Another kill for Link would give him the Rolling Thunder, and then things become that little bit more dangerous. Still, trying to retake with an operator is not necessarily going to be easy, and it's going to be reliant on someone like Soulcast to try and make the move. The anti-flash actually held by Pora, but even still, they're going to find a way back in. They've got to try and clear this close angle, and they're not going to. Kushner just taking over this round. 4 kills for him already, and while Yumpy might just want to try and save this operator, but he's going to do some damage on his way out.
Well, he's actually not going to make his way out at all. Cutie's found the ace. An absolutely fantastic response from BBL in a round where they have practically nothing, and we theorize, you know, oh, maybe they'll work around the tour de force, but they had a completely different hero in mind. It's this man with the finger guns, and he made it work. Finally able to take down Scream. And it's been a long-awaited kill. Now, look, they've just shown us that they can win a round where Cutie aces. All right.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. But now they got to do it in more conventional ways. Still, a couple more ults in the back pocket for BBL to work with, and it's going to be the same blitz stun, and it's successful this time. Another stun around, and Cutie follows up.
Okay.
Screw it. That's Cutie ace back-to-back, I guess. Let's just keep going with the same game plan.
You know, normally we sit there and go, well, you can't rely on that every single round. And Cutie's going, well, maybe you can, you know? Like, maybe I can just continue to kill everyone. Even if he doesn't, though, giving them a 2-man advantage this early. He's got rid of Scream again, which was the bane of their life in the early rounds, and also taken out Link, who I believe was the only person who actually had an ultimate online. So the impact of Cutie's already, well, completely overblown in this round, and now he's going to try and take that space once again.
This movement's so beautiful now on the side, starting to blitz around. They've spotted Yumpy. They'll take him down, trading out as Sulcas falls, and Oliveira left to do it all. Not gonna get it done this time. BBL have found a second round, and we are really starting to see Cutie come alive on that Neon. Not only the impact in the early duels on Dish, which was the blitz, the stuns, you know, it's heavily reliant on this agent, but then in taking control over the B site, popping up that fast lane, blitzing in, this has been fantastic to watch.
Yeah, they've also done quite a lot of damage now to Team Liquid's economy. The back-to-back rounds, dropping every single player. It's going to leave Yumpy down on a Marshall, which, okay, it's still not that much of a weakness for him. But now we're going to see where this aggression actually comes through. Now, they've spotted that there's no one over towards Dish early, so they know that the likelihood is this push is coming in another direction. And this is something that Sky is going to give you as a bonus. Scream, though, about to be pressured again. And, well, he has everything on his shoulders here. And, well, Aslan gets both.
Yeah, he had the nade through, but it wasn't able to connect. Now, Navarra's going to try the same trick through the smoke, but no dice this time. That op from Yumpy completely smoked out. Or not op, sorry, Marshall. Scope. So used to seeing it. That's going to get a chance eventually, but yeah, pour out in the open, ready to take that one. This has been clean from BBL. One player lost eventually, but they'll certainly be happy enough to walk out of this with 4 alive if they get there. Sulka's going to try to make it costly. At a certain point, though, that Guardian might be worth just bringing through to the next round. I think time's going to dictate that. And actually, Tom, look where Cutie is on the map. already making his way through Dish. He's ready to cut him off.
He's hungry. These are some nice shots though from Soulcast. Just going to be a couple of extra kills, a bit of extra damage. So one thing I will say is the last couple of rounds we've seen what I would call BBL just going straight back to the bare bones basics, because they're being caught out by aggression. Like you saw the amount of individual duels that Scream was able to win. Like it'd be 2 players on one side of the map, 3 on the others. Last 2 rounds, group up as 5. Like, make sure that if it's going to be a trade, it's at least going to be even, and not allow these superstars on the side of Liquid to actually just pop off. Which, again, like you saw it even in some of the early rounds with Yumpy, just having those sort of aggressive spots on the map. They haven't been able to do that anymore because they now risk pushing into a full 5 player, and that's what they're doing again. Just grouping up together, playing as a unit, keeping things nice and simple, because I think that's what BBL does best.
Versus a team like Liquid, it could be those fundamentals that take you across the line. Oh, that's not great, no. Somehow Cutie's able to survive despite being tagged up initially. Showstopper not gonna land. Cutie running around with a classic in hand. Somehow this man is still alive. He ran through, got caught up by a trapwire, got revealed, made to sight.
Taking 0 damage.
Like, what? It's 150 HP. Explain that.
Oh, this is a problem. Or maybe it's not. Link actually gets nothing from it. I think he's just flashed his teammate. Well, they're going to have to just fall back into the corners a little bit here. The thing is, the weapon disadvantage that's currently there for Liquid is going to make things really tough. It's a dink. It's a 1-4-5. But unfortunately, it's not going to be a kill. And this is looking like a 4th round, almost guaranteed. Link just getting hit by every piece of utility. And Cutie's there to close out the round. 5-4, 4 in a row for BBL. And okay, this one definitely came a little bit too close with how low some of the players were, but they get through it.
Yeah, some of the players, that's the funny part. Everybody, you either died or were left on 5 HP, except for Cutie. Guy that first dashes over that trap wire, goes inside first, ends up running out of a mag, runs past the Showstopper, sprays him down with a classic inside of smoke. Like, what?
As he turned on God mode by accident. Did we just not realize? Is that what's happened?
The scrims the other day.
Whoops. Yeah.
Oh, God mode on, boys. My bad. Well, 5-4. This has been a remarkable recovery by BBL. And I don't even want to look to their overall strategy. I want to look to the success of Cutie for it. It feels like every single round has been spearheaded by this man. I mean, you'd expect nothing less than a Neon. I think we'd be complaining about him if that wasn't the case.
He's going in last.
Baiting everybody, but look, on his way through again, he's going to be caught, revealed up somehow. Nobody is there to punish. Team Liquid heavy stacking B, pushing Dish. They've lost the A site now. BBL found the one gap in the defense.
They've got amazing retake utility though. Like, you look at the ultimates online, you got Seekers, you got Rolling Thunder. Like, there is pretty much everything they could ever need to catch out these players on the way back in. So I think this was well and truly planned by Liquid.
It could be a plan, but let's see what they've got to follow up on that. Because BBL are playing super deep inside main. They're ready for this Rolling Thunder to come through. In fact, they're actively countering it. Stopping anybody from taking main now. Orbital Strike comes through. Team Liquid are going to look to late play through it, but they've lost so much time on this that I think they might have to just save at this point. I mean, unless they find some kills quickly, and with Link being pressured up close with Cutie finding another frag, there is just no time. No time for this round to go their way, and they are dropping weapons left, right, and center, ending with Link. That is a rough round for Team Liquid.
Yeah, and I love that from BBL. To have the read on the Rolling Thunder, knowing that that's likely to come through in a moment's time, just backing away and making sure that they even have that orbital strike to deny them the space back through. That's an incredibly well-played round, especially considering, I said, I feel like Liquid's plan all along was to try and retake. Like, when you have that many impactful ultimates, they even utilized 3 of them there to try and get back in. And then there was just counters from BBL. So that's always something I think that takes a team from being an okay team to a pretty damn good team, is that you realize the ultimates that your opponents have and you counter them in the moment.
Couldn't have played it better. Really couldn't have on the side of BBL, and you saw it. Everything that was set up was very much ready for it. Even in the start of the round, the fact that they moved to this A site and find it open, this time not so open. What? Cutie still wins that fight, follows up with at least an assist on the Scream, who's now having a much tougher time staying alive. BBL, they may just have taken the lead, from a team that was looking down and out. They were lost in the first couple rounds here on Fracture. Well, they have certainly made the recovery of a lifetime. And look, Cutie's tucked up close. They're checking it, though. They'll punish him this time. Flash up now. Things are looking a little bit dangerous. You can see Turco just hightailing it out of there, realizing they don't want to overstay their welcome and get taken down. They're resetting for an actual hold. But Team Liquid will have a tougher time with that molly. I think they've just won the round off timing.
Yeah, a couple of aggressive positions, but then the passive ones to make sure it's backed up. DLL getting out might be a little bit difficult as he's got a full firing squad. In fact, Yumpy's even going to take down another. The thing is, though, at this stage, it really doesn't matter that much. It's going to be the round still going in the direction of BBL, and it's not like they're going to run out of finances for this final round of the half. So I guess it's a few extra ultimate orbs on the side of Liquid.
Essentially, yeah. For Link saving that Vandal, right? It doesn't do too much for them, realistically. But yeah, it was the right choice, I guess, overall. No point going down the spike for no reason. I gotta say, big risks by BBL, but I love the fact that they have the safety net. Like you said, having those passive positions that they can also fall back into. You know, even if they don't lose Turco, they've got the molly, they've got the 2 players to hold sight in the crossfire. Things can be okay. It's really important to have that. Too many teams go all in on a round that they think they've won already or fully commit to the aggression. It was fantastic. 6-5. Genuinely mind blown by this comeback from BBL. It's been night and day, really, between these quarters. And while Cutie in again, he's getting them through the smoke. Oh my god, this guy, and he's in for one more. Link's down too. He just doesn't stop.
He's just obliterating them. I think there might be another Turkish import soon if BBL don't have his contract locked, because this man is having a worldie of a performance, and well, somehow Yumpy still manages to win that battle. The thing is, though, again, the time is ticking, and sure, there's these more aggressive players in the form of Cutie and Aslan, but the rest of the team are just set up for this afterplant, not giving them an opportunity back in. A crossfire they have to try and get through, and Navira just being tanked by utility every second he stays on that site. Time is gone, and DLL will even put a bullet in his head to close it. 7-5. Impressive stuff. An impressive comeback from the Turkish squad.
I mean, that was 7 rounds in a row, right?
Yep.
It's just unbelievable. The fact that every single plan they're going for in those first 2 buy rounds, it falls apart. It looks flat, and Team Liquid easily able to pick those ones up. And then Cutie goes, all right, guys, I've turned my monitor back on. I'm ready to go. Up the pace, get on in there. And it's not about
I think he ran into every single trip as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's another thing. You know, all the things that you want in good Neon play often is going to revolve around getting your Neon to sight pretty safely, getting rid of that utility, right? They didn't do that. This guy was just running around like a death match, picking everyone off. It was gorgeous. Now we come into half 2. Let's see if that continues on the defensive side.
Oh, all going to be broken, but the orb's already been taken. That was the main initial goal for the side of BBL. Now, they can definitely hear all of this being broken, but not really rotating anyone yet. Of course, for the side of Liquid, it's almost just an attempt to try and either pull someone in this direction or just reclaim some of the map that they lost in the early stages of the round. But now that the steps have been heard going through, you can see Kushner starting to make that rotation to try and support A, and almost just playing that flex player, because he can just get between the sites so quickly.
They're about to open this door. It looks like, you know, Team Liquid not going to fight it, man. Moving towards the site already with Cypher only now coming up through Dish. It's going to be a super late push, or with 35 seconds left, waiting for that shift walk is, I mean, not really an option. I guess he's just trying to lurk it up and catch them as they pay attention to sight, maybe. We'll see. Smoke's going down to block off angles. Pora, not really sure where to go with that smoke down. He can't really initiate onto the site in the same way. And it looks like BBL call for them to just pump the brakes, wait for the retake. Wait for Cutie to come in entry, I suppose.
We need a space taker. Who are you going to call? Well, I think it's going to be Cutie in this scenario. The thing is, though, a solid after plant setup. They're all looking to try and make their way through that door at once, though. Aslan already manages to find one. Link can't counter back, so the advantage, at least in terms of personnel, only goes one way. And Aslan's found another. Now it's left onto Link and Soulcast, but they do a fantastic job. Navira will even be there to catch aim DLL trying to come in a different direction. And Liquid, well, that's now both pistols under their belt.
That's huge, right? The pistol to buy you right back into this. Team Liquid have just lost 7 rounds in a row to a team that looked like they were just on God form, God mode enabled. Now they're coming into this, picking up the pistol, should be able to follow it up. They can start to get some wind behind their sails, and on the attack side,
That goes there.
I guess they won't be caught off and pressured as much or as easily by QD. I'm not going to say as much because I have no doubt this guy, he's friends with the W key. He's going to want to use that quite a bit. They're pushing up on B, but Team Liquid have their eyes set on A for now.
Yeah, again, just leaving a bit of a lurk in terms of the controller on the other side of the map. Just making sure that any aggression's going to be instantly shut down. Navira left with a firing range. He might be sat over there on Cypher, but put a sniper in his hand. And I was going to say there's not too many opportunities for him to miss. But, hey, he just lost the battle to a classic.
Not ideal. But look, if they just lose the one player, it won't be the end of the world. Gotta be careful on the way back out. This BBL are just going to tuck in by the looks of it, play hard for exits. Oh, Poor's walking up at a classic. He should be gone. Oh, that's a shot connected. Solgus was in danger. These players tell him, right, they're both above one hit. Turco's got to hit the headshot on his way around with this Marshall, and he will not. 7-7. Decent follow-up from Team Liquid, but this next round is where it's all at.
Yeah, this is where things get that little bit more interesting. Of course, it's still going to be a bonus round in for the side of Liquid, so you can't necessarily expect them to just win this one straight off the bat. It's also curious as well with how much we've seen in the past, the likes of Navira actually switching up onto Chamber. That trap disappears, and he's straight back to Cypher again. Even though there have been a lot of calls for Cypher to get a buff, the fact that one little flank control makes so much of a difference, it is quite intriguing, but I'm not necessarily surprised by it. It's obviously going to be a shame for him because he loses all the weaponry he had along the way, but on this attacking side, I don't think they'll mind that as much.
Yeah, I think the thing that I've heard from most teams at the moment is that essentially you no longer play as a sentinel when you're Chamber. He's now essentially a duelist who can use that trap for himself. Maybe occasionally on a map like this, use it for drop, and it gives you a little bit of control. But I think Team Liquid, if they like to turtle a little bit more, not take as much aggressive control. That's where you're going to see that Cypher really get its value on defensive side, being able to lock down 2 angles, solo hold sides, and as well as that push up. I think we saw a few rounds, or we've seen it in multiple games, right, where you push dish, grab that control, pop down a trap. You've got huge info for the whole round, that and then still control the other side of the map or A main exit or something. Team Liquid taking a while here with their weaker weapons, but eventually it's going to be the B side hit Rolling Thunder through. That molly, though, perfectly timed to cut off Yumpy at least.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, they've used this utility, but they haven't actually been able to capitalize on it. Basically getting stuck in the mud. You've seen all the other players actually rotate out of the site as well, so it leaves just the remaining couple and no one really to fight until they go for the retake. Link is going to be able to get one, but the trades are effective, and Navira will drop another. It's at least something for Liquid, some extra credits and also 2 kills, but yeah, I think it's always unfortunate, especially when you use something like a Rolling Thunder. If you're sectioned out of the site like that, it almost just becomes worthless.
Yeah, you can essentially see that, like, they want to increase their chances of winning a low buy round like that. Throwing in the ult you got early is always how teams are going to look to do it, but once that's thrown down and doesn't find a connection, I guess we've reset into a normal bonus round, and they had a lot of success for it, right? I think it went exactly as you expect a bonus round to go. Sometimes a player gets overwhelmed by the numbers or by the sheer speed of a Spectre. Teammates able to trade it out. Other than that, clean up the rest of the duels, lose 2 players, minimum reinvestment. BBL, 3 players pushing up on A. They've been walling this off and fighting for Orb. Now we're seeing the full aggression come out. Yumpy's holding it in the close corner. Will he be spotted? Yes. Pora's caught him. Scream's going to try to come in and save the day, recover what has been lost, but no shots connect until Pora takes his gun out again. A second kill in the round, and Team Liquid, well, they have stalled out on this one. Nevera's thinking about dropping down on A, right? Opening that extra bit of space, but he senses they might have extra players here. They might have the rotation, and so they'll reset. A very valuable pick by Solka, so that's going to give them a chance, a lifeline.
And that gives them control of the B site. Of course, a lot of teams play retake on this side of the map because, well, getting a plant down can be tough, but Solkas has actually managed to win a second duel. Now, obviously, the spike still has to cross, but he's still going to have some extra utility to be able to do that. The molly, though, is big. Again, just sectioning off Link, making sure that he can't actually get through into the site. Cosmic Divide put through, but somehow Solkas has survived all of this, and now they're going to get an after plant.
Well, that's quite a round out of Solkas, giving them a chance, but it's not done yet. Not even close. Cosmic Divide buys them a little bit of time. Nevera's even able to get the camera up, right, without giving them the sound cue, so it's a little bit of something extra. As they try to cross over, information will be fed. There you go, 2 players up close. Nevera knows what he's up against. He spotted the other further down. Good headshot through the box, but Turco still survives on 9 HP. Time now ticking away. Solkas not spotted, nor is Link up above. The utility can now come through. The grav well to start, and BBL realize no time left. They got to run to the other side.
Yeah, this round was looking over. With the initial fights that we saw come through, it basically sat there going, okay, this is already done. Unfortunately, Link's going to go down to the spike, which is definitely going to make this quite a bit more costly than Liquid would have liked, but I'll be real, they probably shouldn't have won this round. It was Solkas on his lurk on the other side of the map, managing to double entry into the B site, which somehow managed to bring that back.
A safety net again for Team Liquid, having that individual to pop off. Now, we saw Scream with one of the most impressive starts to a map in recent memory, really.
He was 11-0.
Now 13-10. Things have slowed down. And you got to, again, look at BBL for shutting him down. It's not that Scream's forgotten how to play the game. Where's Aslan's weapon gone? But it's the fact that they've been able to deal with
playing with the finger guns and wanted to try it out with the handguns instead.
The air gun. BBL have done this before, right? Tried to push up and pincer leave the lurk towards the other side, as we said, right? Aslan got his trap on one side.
He got over the trip. He just jumped it. That's
oh no.
Oh, that's such an oversight. He's just yeeted straight up. There's no way they're going to expect him to be this far forward. It's only if for some reason they activate the cam. And look, he's just seeing the whole team. This is horrible for Liquid. Such a big play from Kushner. And he's managed to drop the spike. They've just jumped into the site without it.
Now full control. Aslan's coming through, popping off. If they get this kill, it could be huge. Yumpy's not able to connect the shots, though. Team Liquid stalling out 3v5. 35 seconds left. They've got to get up into drop, deal with Cutie, which is a task in and of itself, and then get back. Not only that, but BBL rotates coming through. AIM DLL now on site, ready to help with this spike control. Yumpy's down, and I think this round might just be tied up nicely for them. Team Liquid need a miracle to get back into this one, and there is none in sight. 9 rounds for BBL.
That's such an oversight. It might just be the switch back to an agent that, again, they probably weren't playing until the nerf of the patch that we've just started playing, but the fact that he's able to just jump straight over that trip, and that's the round. This one kill. Because look, just as he does that, the rest of the team jump into the site. So he now has full spike control. They even throw in a Rolling Thunder just to make sure nobody else can really make a move back out of there. But yeah, that all just came down to basically playing one of the only agents that can actually make it over that.
You know, you're going to be conscious of it if you're against a jet or something like that, but you don't think about it. The fact that you can ramp it on the way over, get SSX tricky with it. It's just nasty. 9-8, BBL. The victory in hand. Being pressured on B. The TP's used, they fall out. AIM DLL going out wide, looking for a little bit more, and he finds nothing. In fact, he gets punished. A kill for Team Liquid. Weaker weapons, but as they cross over, they're caught, they're slowed. And Spike up in heaven, so it'll still make it a sight. They've got to get those stars down for Solkis, and I don't think he's got any left.
Yeah, this is... Well, this should be impossible. Like, I don't really know how. Okay, Navera with a tasty shot might just make the difference. Still getting off on the cross is going to be difficult because there's 3 players just watching for anybody to try and attempt the spike plant. And, well, the only safe spot is if they make it over to the other side. They're also going to use the res, which might have been a cue for a move from Liquid, but instead they're just still stuck back here. Maybe trying to bait them into a rotation, and you know what? It's sort of working.
Plant coming through. There's still plenty here. Beauty with the spray, not able to connect though. Spike planted cheap. Scream coming up big. Showstopper through, and that's going to buy so much time. Just running that clock down, getting himself out of a dodgy position and resetting. 3v3. Cutie on his way through. They now know where Solkis is. Oh, but he still gets the shot off, and down goes Cutie. Turco manages to take it to a 1v1. Player spotted up above. Shot was close. Navera wants to swing. Turco chasing him down frantically, but he can't make it there in time. No utility, no slows, no wall. He's got to just stick this halfway and then look to take the fight. But Navera, he knows he won't stick it. And he's now 1 off time alone. That is a fantastic round out of Team Liquid, out of Navera. 4 kills to close that out, and a lifeline as Team Liquid equalize at the final hour.
That's so nasty. I genuinely, from that spot, there should have been absolutely no way that they managed to win that round. And Navera just plays this to perfection. Okay, he does quite a lot of damage to himself jumping back down, but it's even just the patience here not to go for the repeat, because if Turco sticks that the whole way, he just loses the round. But he's so confident that he's not going to do that because of his prior position that he wins it based off that alone. So incredible read of the game from Navera, but hey, the aim's definitely there to back it up.
Really is. It really, really is. I mean, looking at the way some of these rounds play out, man, the fact that Team Liquid are now basically like their top 4 players within 1 kill of each other.
Yeah.
The way things started out, this was looking like a completely different game. But on that other side, Cushion or X, first man into every fight, and yet he's going 20 and 13. Hey, it's remarkable. If you watch back the last 7 rounds of BBL's attack, really, no way he should have been surviving as much as he was. No way he should have been thriving as much as he was.
Well,
now Team Liquid
it seems he learned about the trips, didn't he?
Yeah, yeah, he did, definitely.
He was testing them for the first half, just running into them every single time. Can I get over this? Oh, okay. And then just makes a play that wins them around. It's all just calculation with Kushner. That's what you have to understand.
Oh, yeah. He was just running the rough calculations first, doing the rough work. He's got his final answer. He's checked it out, ran it twice. Well, they know they can break this wall with that flash. Get a little bit of groundwork early. Take the info out of their hands.
The thing is, BBL don't just sit off the back of this wall. That's what I like. Like, a lot of teams, if they have a Sage, will just, okay, we've walled this. Let's just, that's fine. We can just sit there and wait. But no, they've taken control of the rest of the map on A. So the only position that they can really push in from now is going to be that aiming spot. The only worry they really have to be careful of is where Yumpy currently is.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be a danger. Plant coming through right now. There's Yumpy striking, but the shots don't land. They do over on BBL side, though, with 2 quick frags. They're right back into this one, looking to dash into the site. Stunned for right. Oh, big! Oh! Stunned up by Cutie, now down on the side, and oh, Link's good for 3. That is horrendous. Some team utility that grab well. There's no spam on the back of it, though. Solkis is alone. He doesn't want to go down. He's got another one. A stun this time. A swing! Oh! And he won it! 2 kills! Quickly done. Team Liquid have 10, and they're in the lead. That is an unreal round again. Just insane individual performances. But Tom, that stun from Cutie, it tagged up Aslan. And it's what leads to this being such a big play for Link on backside.
Oh my god. I feel like the last couple of rounds that we've watched Liquid win, they 100% should not have won. Like, you've got the crazy round coming out from Navira, and now just back-to-back double spray downs from 2 of their players. And also, it just seems like Soulcast is so comfortable right now with his utility. What is this game? They've just run straight down A again after doing the same wall strat they did just moments ago. This time they leave it open, and it's the second time we've seen them get a double entry doing that.
Unreasonable.
As if he's waiting for this.
The flash, though, the flash was good. Even with it, Scream didn't see him for a moment. His head was lit up. The rest of the team's starting to make their way through B main now, and you can see Team Liquid, well, caught off by Turco. This is going to cause some problems. That's going to leave underpass open. The rotations could be coming through, and now double the players for BBL on this retake. They're up against a rolling Thunder, Tom, but it might not be the biggest of deals.
Yeah, they might actually have to use it fairly early if they're going to use it at all, because taking space into this is going to be difficult, and Turco avoids it. That's probably the round. Link has to go ham once again. He did amazing. An attempt to line them up. First headshot found, but then the rest are like a firing squad. An easy trade out. BBL, well, they've just won a round. They definitely shouldn't have won, and oh, good luck predicting the end of this game.
Yeah. At this point, there is no such thing as a free round. You got to fight for every single one. We already know what a headhunter can do. We've seen it time and time again, but Aslan's about to bring out the big gun. Tour de force coming into effect in this round, and I would keep a close eye on what he's about to do. We see him rotating through to the B site. I think that's going to be B main pick. Or at least peak for the pick. No, actually, he's quite passive on this. That's a very passive position. He's not going to go for the tour de force. That's why he's gone for the rifle in the end.
I think it's based off just knowing what the opponents currently have. Like, the finances for Liquid suck, so if they have fully invested, it's going to be a really weak buy. And if they haven't, well, it's going to be an even weaker buy. So investing into a tour de force where realistically they could close the distance, try and shut you down, it's not necessarily worth the same risk as when you're up against rifles, and the chances are Liquid would play quite a bit slower.
Yeah, good read, good adjustment. We should see the benefit for that. They've dropped off the wall now, starting to move back. It's heard. I'm not sure what you can really do with that information, though. Oh, good shot from Scream. Nade. It's actually perfect. Aslan's forced out of position, but he lands the shot to Scream.
Oh, they're not expecting Kushner to still be on the site either. A spike down is going to make this one very difficult to try and turn. Soulcast, though, has found one. Again, though, in such a disadvantage, it's going to be incredibly difficult. Managing to get one more, only a bullet left in the chamber, but we'll have a chance to reload. Yumpy also has managed to find some space, but doesn't expect Turco to be so far back, and now Soulcast basically has to get 5 kills to be able to win this.
You know, in a couple seconds as well. That's the tough part. Good attempt in the first. 4 seconds left. You would have loved to see it, but not this time. 11 rounds for BBL. This team, they have a remarkable ability to fight for any round. I think that's something you can say for both of these teams in their history, right? Even just look at the opening game for BBL. Like we said, look flat map 1, look flat half 1 of map 2, come back and win the whole thing. OT, yeah. And then a victory, and then a dominant victory, if I remember correctly, on map 3.
In this game as well, it really helps the fact that Turco is just farming, like orbs, but also kills. So they've had a multitude of reses in rounds that could have been very, very dangerous. So the fact that he's just performing so well individually is almost why that Battle Sage at times can be incredibly valuable for the squad. It's reasons in the past why we've seen Scream actually play it. And again, we're going to see these early set plays, like going aggressive. Is he going to try and jump this again? I wonder if they might just break it this time.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Broken it, rotated, but well, Cutie and Aslan both go down. That was an attempted play on underpass that Soulcast has caught, or forced out by the nade. Fantastic utility usage out of Team Liquid. They've got the site. They've got a plant. Not the best ultimates for a retake. Oh, you nasty boy, Soulcast. You nasty, nasty boy. Waiting in the spawn for them. Oh, that's a save. That's a save right away for BBL.
Soulcast's lurk has actually won the multiple rounds. So he drops 2 players hiding behind. But it might have just been the fact that they started seeing his utility being placed on the A. So they went, okay, well, he's not going to have done that just from hiding very close to us. But the fact is he did. Definitely had its risks about it. But the success he's had is off the charts in this game. And I think one of the reasons they're actually still in it. Because I think the fact that this aggression is being spotted from BBL, they're not allowing such fast rotations because they have to be careful of him being on the other side. It's caused a lot of problems. And well, if he's going to take 2 players with him every time they try and wrap back around, you're not going to win many rounds.
Yeah, this has been a great display coming out of Soulcast. You can see the value on this map. I think we saw it over in Game Changers as well. I was discussing with Sia the usage of Astra even without having a raise, because it's what we're going to see a lot of, right? Is your breach and then Astra combos with the raise on this map. But on this map, she seems to just have so much potential. The flexibility of utility, it brings so much value for rooting people out of those little corners and comboing with many other players. And you'll see it with the likes of Breach. But Soulcast has been taking a different approach, right? Soloing it up, lurking around, and absolutely ruining the global utility, allowing him to still be a part of some of these fights. In fact, look, he's contributing on pretty much every front with the stars that he's got down to start with, giving them the options for a grab well or something like that on a moment's notice.
Trap destroyed.
A minute left, and the offense of Liquid is still very much spread. Now you can see the spike slowly making its way in towards this B site. So you'd assume that's the direction they're going to end up in, but they've still got double lurks on either side of the map, almost trying to bait players in. Now Yumpy heard this drop down a couple of rounds ago. So he's sort of expecting somebody to be there now and almost hoping he can now catch someone on the lurk, similarly to what Soulcast has been doing.
Yeah, that might almost be why Team Liquid are applying so much pressure. And well, that almost worked. It almost did.
Cutie's rotating. No, in fact, so is AIM DLL. This has worked perfectly. That's all he needed to do. Just showing that little bit of information on one side of the map. It's pulled every single member of BBL bar 1. That one is going to be Aslan.
Yeah, the call is for retake. And it's still a retake with Aslan here. He's going to dodge this showstopper. At least he's going to try to. There you go. He's out of there just in time. Rolling Thunder used up here. 10 seconds or just about. They're going to have to get this spike down here and now. If they can deny this, it could be around 1. And they have! Link goes down. Team Liquid need to pounce on that spike, and it's done. They haven't got the time. Gorgeous stuff out of Cutie. Again, the savior.
Oh, it must be so frustrating to play against because Liquid played that well. Like, granted, Aslan bought a nice little amount of time. You also had the rotation in from Pora, who stuns them all up and basically delays the plant. But Cutie just decides, all right, well, how am I going to impact this round? Runs in, drops the spike, takes 2 other players down as well, and that's it. It's already over. The first one was just spam, but it's the remaining 2 that make things so much more difficult for Liquid. And while BBL, we've spoke about this man many a time as to reasons why they're doing well in this map, he might have just given it to them.
He might just have. That is unreal. Team Liquid now on the back foot of a map. They started out with Scream like 13 or 11-0.
How dare you?
Now, though, the kills come through. Damage done. Team Liquid right back in this one. 4 versus 3. Up on Yumpy. And they've got all the time in the world here. They can pump the brakes. They're here in the rotations. They're rotating to B, which is wide open. But Yumpy is going to try to pick them off on A. Try to catch some of this re-aggression.
Oh,
that
no.
timing could not have been worse. Oh, that could have even been a collat in another world, in another life.
That's so cursed. Because up until that point, yeah, he had a great read, a completely different lurk to what they're normally seeing. But again, the remaining players are going to be stuck on the wrong side of the map. Well, Cosmic Divide going to go down. It's not going to make that much of a difference. Obviously, with the problems that they've had trying to get the plant, I don't blame Liquid at all. They're still expecting spam to come through. But again, the Turco Res is going to bring Kushner back. And okay, they know where he is, but I don't know if that will help them in the future of the round.
Yeah, with 4 players coming this way. 3 at least. Oh!
Oh, never mind.
I was going to try to paint how difficult of a fight that would be, how you wouldn't know there's that many players even after the res. But yeah, well, that is nicely done. Nicely done.
There's a few things in this round that I can't believe. That's definitely one of them. Like, Navira just seems to have these explosive rounds out of absolutely nothing that it just wins one. Same with Soulcast. But also the fact that Kushner had the balls to wide swing with the overdrive and try and take down 3 people. That might be the most insane thing I've ever seen a player attempt. And if it was anyone else, I think I'd be really annoyed. But because it's him, I actually believed he was going to get something from that.
Yeah, I think there was a pretty good chance he walks out of there with 2, the way he's been playing so far, but punishment was there. We go to OT. Wow. What a strange reality we live in, where this game, the way it started out, ends up being this close. But this is exactly what we said about BBL after week 1, right? If they come in warmed up, they can do some damage, and what a map for it. The one where they closed out that series so dominantly against Na'Vi. You can see the prowess here. Another attempt at the attack side, lock and load. But when it comes to the rifle rounds, BBL have looked pretty good. They've definitely found their footing. And this is where they looked so dominant against Na'Vi, where they won most of their rounds. Where they started out, granted. See if they can find the success this time around. A very, very slow approach. They're waiting for Team Liquid to get aggressive. They're casting the net wide, but there's nothing there.
Minute left on the clock. Only now just starting to try and clear out some of these more aggressive positions. Now, Pura has actually gone around the map and just farmed up all orbs. So he's now only 1 away from having that Rolling Thunder, and that might be a nasty surprise for Liquid. Something not so much expected, but they will witness him slowly getting closer and closer. Even still, though, he's actually pushing alone. This could just be bait.
Right there.
The rest of the team are in the other direction. There's the Rolling Thunder, but he's not going to get to use it. Even still, though, he sold this fake because the rest of the team entry. Navira's just gone running through like an absolute madman, but his teammates are trading things out.
Oh, the stun! There's only a few seconds left. MDLL has to get back, and luckily he will.
Last player standing.
Still, though, that's MDLL all alone. The utility hasn't come where they wanted it to, but... So it might cost them. MDLL good for the first. 2 more players coming at him. He has no idea where from, and Link connects the shot right away. 13 for Team Liquid. Map point. One that looked like they were going to take it so easily. They have been taken the distance, pushed to the limit, but now they might be able to close it out regardless.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Like, it's sending...
Match point.
And you're breaching alone on the other side of the map. I guess it was just their own attempt at selling a ruse. And that's the thing. If he gets, even just survives for an extra second or so and gets back around, he can Rolling Thunder out of there, and the rotation's going to take another 5 to 10 seconds. So, like, I can understand the thought process of BBL. It gave them a lot less when it came to entering into the site, though. And you saw how that became an issue with, like, no stun, for example, being there on the cross, and just allowing basically free roam for Yumpy to try and hit things with the operator, which he normally does.
That's the thing. When it works, it could have been fantastic.
Exactly.
But when it doesn't work, well, you get punished, and it might lead to the round loss. At least it makes it so much more difficult for you to take that round. Now at 13 to 12, BBL's defense sees a push-up on Dish. They haven't done this really at all. It's been A main that they get aggressive on, and Navira has been completely caught out by it.
And not the start they were looking for. And having to make sure they're not completely losing ground on A. Again, it's just a very wide net currently being thrown by Liquid to try and catch players out. Pretty much every corner of the map, bar the one where Navira lost his duel. Actually, a deeper wall thrown in this time. We've seen it all the way back, but there you go. That deep net has caught one fish, and this time it's going to be Aslan.
Enemy down.
Big head taken on the other side, though. The scalp of Scream now claimed, and Team Liquid, well, they rotate back. Link's the one with the spike, and going to try to make it to Yumpy, who's securing that B site for them right now.
30 seconds left.
Yumpy just holding with an AWP, hoping he'll catch someone. Really, this will come down to timing yet again. We saw him get ruined just a few rounds ago with this AWP out. The timing as they swung in and took him down.
Gotta go.
Don't you dare.
The swing from
Oh,
Cutie.
he's so nasty!
Spike down.
That's the
B.
spike down, and now his teammates are actually going to go pushing off the back of it, trying to stop anything more from coming through. Aim DLL, he's got him stuck in the corner. There is no way out for Yumpy. It's going to go for another OT, Mitch. And you just know the second you see Kushina just look to sprint through, he's going right into their faces.
That pace, again, has just been catching them off guard, and I think it catches everyone off guard, right? At any given moment, this guy could be, I don't even want to say wide swinging you, it's a whole nother level of it. And he hits the shots practically right away. And this is a nice cleanup in the end. And that disruption, combined with the fact that so many of these hits have been coming in the last couple of seconds, it's causing a lot of problems for Team Liquid on this attack side. I mean, this is something that they're going to have to find an answer for, but short of having something like the Cosmic Divide or selling a really convincing fake like they have on the A site, where they've left B completely open with just Aslan there, and he'll leave after just the one shot normally. Other than that, they haven't really been able to replicate that success, and you're not going to have those Cosmic Divides here. You're not going to have your Showstopper to entry or any of that sort of stuff. We need to see a different game plan coming into the next round, but this one here is back to defense for Team Liquid. And on this side, it just seems like every now and then you end up with a player holding an angle spraying down 3 players. It's like half of the defensive rounds for Team Liquid have just gone like that.
I felt like there were lots of rounds on both sides that ended up
Yeah,
like
maybe.
that.
You might
The
be
Vera
right.
4K was on the attack. Soulcast double entry on the attack. Like a lot of these rounds didn't make a lot of sense, but hey, I don't think they're going to mind too much. I also think we need to give so much credit to Soulcast for just being one of the most diverse players in all of Valorant. Like, the amount of agents that he's played and played well is actually starting to become a little bit ridiculous. Like, I wasn't sure about him coming in on the Astra, but well, other than maybe the first 5 rounds, he's definitely been the best player in the map, probably, except maybe Kushina.
And to be frank, you know, from a community perspective, he's got to be like the most shit on player, like for how good he is as well. That's the thing that doesn't really doesn't make that much sense. But
anything goes wrong, Soulcast's fault.
Cutie got caught by another trap wire, but of course he's still alive. Don't worry, that is how this man works. B site for BBL. Yumpy on a very early flank. He's going to be caught though, spotted. Look at the control. Fight from underneath. Pora whiffs the shot. Oh, this is dangerous though. They're all trying to deal with him. They're all moving back, leaving the site to fight towards this side of the map to deal with Yumpy, and eventually they do. They've secured B main. They've got the control to work with. Cutie though, not happy. No, he's not happy with having one angle to play from. He wants to stand out in the open, help Aslan take that double spray, and Scream's got to save the day. It's not looking likely. 1v3, 2 kills to get his Showstopper online. There's one. Ooh. There's a chance, an opportunity, but that time is just way too low.
Yeah, there's no way he wins this from here. They're just going to be an instant swing, and while it was almost looking like he just wanted to pad the stats a little bit towards the end, BBL back into the lead and now have an opportunity of their own. Now again, we've seen completely different looks to this attack inside. BBL a lot more sort of raw entry, like taking the space for free, almost disrespecting Liquid at times, whereas Liquid have again just been throwing this net out. They'll have players all over the map just trying to catch the aggressive plays because there's been so many of them. BBL have been doing these setups with 3 players pushing in the majority of rounds, so it's looking like maybe for one of the first times, it's actually going to be challenged directly by Liquid.
Oh, I don't know if that's gone as they wanted. Both kills going BBL's way. They've started this one out, not with the 3-player aggression on A main that we've seen before, this time with 4. Changing it up from last OT where they 3-player push dish. You can see how difficult it is for Team Liquid to have any sort of stability in early round map control. And Solkas, who was supposed to be lurking on the B side, now represents a large portion of their remaining ability and utility. They can't afford to lose anyone else on this one. They need everyone alive. That wall broken, the smoke down, Navera. He's going to find it so hard to dive out. And Tom, there's 3 players from BBL here. They've got the support come through from Spawn, the crossfire. Navera, well, he actually does so well to find one. They're still going. This is still alive. Oh, Team Liquid.
No.
They're right back in it.
How? That doesn't make any sense. They had a 3-man setup waiting for them to push in. One stun is enough for them to get a double entry into the site. Kushina's here quickly, but his teammate's very far behind. It looks like he might just try and do this all on his own lonesome, but now the rotations even come back in from Soulcast. It's going to become quite a bit more difficult to find these players within the site. And with all of these smokes just shrouding their positions and even the sounds being made on those closer angles, they're going to know roughly where these defenders are coming in from. Soulcast drops another, and somehow in what is a 3v5, it comes to just one man. And unfortunately, this time, Kushina can't do enough. Liquid, I don't know how they found that lifeline, but Mitch, somehow they did.
I mean, I don't want to... I feel like I'm throwing the word miracle around a lot here, but that is exactly what half these rounds look like. I mean,
that's a lot of wine.
You say, hey, that would explain what I'm seeing. It's you look at some of these rounds, man. There's no way, absolutely no way they should be walking out with this. At 3v5, the double opening A main, the 3-player stack on A site, 2 on site, 1 in spawn, good crossfire. They still get out of that, and I think, you know, looking at the fact that you were left with a breach, with an Astra, with Nevera, let's say, I think that made a big difference. If you look at another reality where it's Yumpy, Nevera, Scream, that's a much harder clutch to win without any of the utility to work behind. Cutie down to start this off. The stun has caught him, though, so Yumpy's not going to be able to scope for a moment. It delays him, and now he's sort of just turtled in, tucked in, hoping that he can catch them on at least one small angle. They're all around him, but Yumpy doesn't mind at all. He'll go down after 3, but surely that's enough with BBL still to even get a spike plant.
Yeah, the rotations are coming in from elsewhere, but we've just seen a round that shouldn't have been in one direction. It's only right that they get one back, but it isn't going to happen this time. I thought Turco had a chance. Now AIM-DLL has to pull off a tough clutch. Surrounded on all fronts, knows that there's a player looking to come in from behind, but while time is being wasted by Link, the rest of the players are making their way to the site, and while he'll win both battles put in front of him. A Yumpy round with Link there to finish, and more importantly, Liquid now in the lead once again.
One player holding down an angle, getting multiple kills. We've seen it again and again. Yumpy with an off this time. That gets them the defense round. They're back to the attack. Success is being found here in the past. You look at that timeline, you'll see a lot of red up there for Team Liquid.
Have you noticed how AIM-DLL has 18 assists?
It's the Brim Smokes,
I wonder how many of those are just him throwing down the stim.
It's like, oh, they had a little bit of that.
Just running in and killing them. Assist 1, assist 2.
Yeah, true. Then the smoke as well. Yeah, Brim Smokes are weird, man. If you walk through it, and they still detect some Brim Smoke in your lungs an hour later. Team Liquid, here we go. Meat grinder. BBL with the 4-player A main push, the wall up to try and bait them in to a false sense of security. It was a smart play, one that builds on many rounds of conditioning on their side, but unfortunately... Oh, all right. I thought that was going to be the end of the game, but unfortunately, I'll continue on the point. We end up with Team Liquid closing it out nicely in the end, ready for that A main push, ready for the final kill. And Tom, impressive stuff, we have to say, from BBL to be able to make it that close after a slow start. But at the end of the day, this is a map that they look incredibly good on, that they destroyed Navi on arguably their best. And in this case, it was their pick. So, look, 16-14. It's a good scoreline, but now they've got to move on to Team Liquid's map.
Yeah, it's going to be a real kicker because realistically, it's one they should have won. Like, especially the last couple of rounds where it was like a 3 versus 5. They had a crossfire setup ready for that push to come in, and Liquid still managed to just pull out these pure BS rounds. It's always going to be tough closing a game versus Liquid, and it's going to be even tougher going to their map and doing the same.
Yeah, 100%. And I think the rounds you highlight there as well got to be haunting BBL. Losing a map that close is a devastating thing, Tom. We're going to be going off to a break. When we come back, we'll see if BBL can bounce back or if Team Liquid are going to make this one a wash.